In this case, we have two tweets that VTubers made about art. So the second one is going to be like a really sweet palette cleanser. The first one, we'll look at it, right? So this is written by Twitter user Super Sweet Lucas, who goes by Lucas, writing, if you're a VTuber and you support, use, or endorse AI art in any way, artists and your peers will literally never respect you, let alone trust you. Quote, I'm just using it for now because I don't have the money, end quote. No, just no. We'd rather you have nothing than have AI. And this post went pretty viral, almost 300k views with 4k likes. A lot of people were like mad about this. Lism writes, there is the horrible part of people buying starting soon screens or backgrounds that are AI generated, but they don't realize because platforms are getting saturated with it. I bought one once, didn't realize till a while later it was AI, though there was less of it back then too. And Lucas says, TBH, a lot of the replies here show that there's VTubers who knew it was AI and are just telling themselves it's fine, convincing themselves that some artists allow AI, so it's fine, when really those artists are probably scammers that put a phrase into an AI for an image. Look, again, I'm pretty sure Lucas's point is not about those people. I'm pretty sure Lucas's point is not about the people who bought AI not knowing it was AI. Look, it happens, you know, like you go on Etsy, if you're not an artist, you're not trained, you don't have the trained eye to recognize what's AI, what isn't. You're gonna look through art, you're gonna pick something you like, and these AI scammers are getting more and more evolved, and they're getting better and better at passing off AI artwork as legitimate artwork. I don't fault you if you fell for it accidentally. That just means you were the victim of a scam. Okay, you were a victim, you didn't know. It's just the people that bought AI knowing it was AI, or even worse, going to a generator yourself. I'm pretty sure Lucas wasn't referring to the people that accidentally bought AI not knowing. And Shizuka Silent writes, I do think Nero is an exception here. Nero being a VTuber that is like AI powered. Honestly, with AI art though, there's always something that looks off, if you know what I mean. If they didn't scrape from other artists, I bet it could be used by artists to learn how to draw anatomy and things like this. And Lucas says, well, Nero isn't generative AI. If you mean Vital and Nero anyways. She's an AI and has even had a wonderful artist commissioned to make her current model. I don't believe Vital used generative AI. I mean, most are against it. Wouldn't be surprised if Vital was against it. And Cheppy Chep writes, Hayao Miyazaki, co-founder of Studio Ghibli, called AI art, quote, an insult to life itself, end quote. And I'll forever stand by those words. I don't know why people can't use free assets or join giveaways or even save up a little money on the side and would rather use a lifeless robot instead. And Lucas responds, TBH, they can. Though coming into the VTuber community, you go to Etsy for cheap stuff to start with and end up accidentally getting AI. It's just not obvious to newer VTubers that there's free assets from real artists they can use. Yeah, I agree too. Icarus Fallon asks, as somebody with an incredibly underdeveloped art bone, how does one know that VTuber assets are AI made? And Lucas adds, I always ask my artist friends TBH. I'm not an artist, so I don't have an eye for it all the time. The people who focus on tiny details and small intricacies do though, but AI makes mistakes that humans generally won't. Like you'll see a piece of hair go behind an arm, then come out in a completely different place, or just not continue. Many AI have a hard time continuing something after it goes behind something else. Object permanence. People be snitching on themselves in these replies. But yeah, some people are talking about this experience, so this individual says, I'm pretty sure my artist and rigger both respect me and I also respect them. I also use a ton of AI for all my thumbnails and I'm planning on using it for a very short lore video. I don't think you can speak for every artist. And Lucas says, I don't intend to speak for all, just a very large amount. But that's unfortunate to know. Another person writes, I get what you're trying to say. However, rather than saying a VTuber should have nothing, you could have mentioned if they want a model, they can make a PNG from PicCrew and there's free assets overlays made by artists on Coffee. You failed to mention any of that. And Lucas says, TBH, I don't know about PicCrew and PNGs. I'm not an artist. But in multiple replies, I've mentioned the free Coffee assets because it's a mistake I made myself and I mentioned I wish I knew about those free pre-made models when I personally was scammed by AI. Okay, this is a hot take. If you are a VTuber, you're not entitled to anything. As in, you're not entitled to get art for your model, whatever, right? Like, being a VTuber is a luxury at the end of the day because it's such an art-heavy thing to do. Art is a luxury and a VTuber is completely made up of artwork. So by that train of logic, a VTuber is also a luxury. Right? Like, you're not entitled to get all this artwork just because you're a VTuber. So by that logic, I would implore you that you don't just go to a generator and generate a bunch of AI art. I'm not saying that's what the commenter was saying, right? Just, you know, I feel like many VTubers do have a sentiment that, oh, well, I can't have nothing, so I need something, so therefore I need to generate art. You know, like, I get the feeling like, oh, I want to have something so that I can have something represented of me and my model, but AI art should not be the thing. Here's the thing too, right? You could just do the bare amount of research yourself, as in, you know, like, just go to Google and look up free VTuber model, free VTuber art. You know, like, the amount of time it would take you to look up an AI generator to then generate some art for you, literally, you could use that amount of time. It would be that quick. Google free art or whatever, and you can find it. Like, I can show you. I don't even have to go very hard. Okay. But yes, I completely magic agree with your point as well. I don't think it's bad that they didn't mention other options. That's not the point of the post. I completely agree. It's not Lucas's job to educate all of you guys on where to find free art and stuff. In my opinion, if you're trying to be a VTuber or whatever, it's your job to educate yourself on the free options if you don't have enough money to buy a VTuber model out the gate, right? It's your job to educate yourself on ways that you can go about getting this artwork without exploiting other people along the way. To me, it's like the same argument as when people steal art and they use it on their Twitter page, and people will be like, hey, this artwork is stolen from so-and-so. And then they will be like, well, I went on Pinterest and looked it up and took the image because it was on Pinterest. And they feel entitled to do it because they're like, well, I don't have any other artwork, so I needed artwork from Pinterest that didn't credit the artist and I didn't bother to look for it. Like, can we just do an ounce of critical thinking and just put in about a minute of effort to Google something free? Right? There's so many resources. It's not even funny. Literally, all you need to look up is free VTuber. Literally, if I go on Twitter, I look up free VTuber model. Oh my God, there's a bunch of raffles that are being given away, right? This is from this Twitter person, Onbi. Another VTuber model raffle. Oh, look, this is like my fourth scroll. This is from Miku T, right? On Twitter with 2 eyes. Free customizable VTuber. You can download it here. Literally her coffee link. Oh my God, guys. I literally scrolled once. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you literally have to be so lazy to not do any ounce of research to then pull the argument of, oh, I can't find anything. You know, like, please. But yeah, there's just a lot of people in the comments defending AI art, you know, with like this person writing, I don't condone using AI for use and claiming it's yours, but I will say that you can use it to help inspire you for ideas to draw and create. Just don't use the actual AI art and claim you made it yourself. But that can still be bad if you trace the AI art. No tracing, make new. And Lucas adds, I mean, you can search through so much actual art on places like VGen, Google, Pixiv, and other websites. You can find inspo there and even use photos of yourself as references to make sure the body is accurate. AI often gives you wonky results. Hair that's not connected to anything, colors merging into each other, words not actually being words, and just random symbols, etc. If an artist is using AI for inspo, I'd say it's not a great start. And I agree. Interesting post. And the source of this post is also interesting. But other creators aren't your audience, and the audience has shown they by and large would rather have AI than nothing. If an artist chose to not accept a commission because somebody used AI once in the past, then frankly, that artist isn't a professional and can't be trusted. And what peers? Top VTubers across the board have allowed AI art in their communities. This is solely an indie opinion. I would also say, like, the amount of people that watch my YouTube videos, I feel like we have seen a very large amount of people that are quite against AI art. So I don't know where their point stands, right? Maybe their like bubble and their echo chamber is just AI art lovers. I don't know. But Lucas responds, oh, yes, the artist isn't professional because they take a stance against their own work being stolen to make that garbage AI art. I'll make sure to tell them they're unprofessional, but they won't sell to me after I steal from them. How could they? Sorry, it's just funny. I love what Lucas wrote here. It's your choice. I don't care. Do what you want. But it's a super easy decision to literally never interact with somebody like you and warn others. Like, you're defending these artists having their work stolen and then calling them unprofessional. You're somebody I want nothing to do with in this community. And then the person responds, it's amazing how you immediately flip into, quote, you just want to steal people's work, end quote, because you don't have an argument. I get it. You're privileged and you don't actually have to care about little things the poors need to consider, like finances. But I've been warning people like you since the first bit of Gen AI was announced that you're not defeating AI with these arguments. You're silently turning people away from your own position. There are way more people who have never used AI before that regularly mess around with it because everybody against it comes off as an out-of-touch asshole. By the way, in response to this point though, I do have to make the argument again. Just because you're poor doesn't mean you're entitled to art. I don't know if this is a hot take, right? I don't think it's a hot take. Maybe some people think it is, okay? But being poor doesn't entitle you to luxury. If you're poor, you are entitled to housing, a safe place to sleep, food, electricity, right? Running water. Like, I agree with all of those. Art is a luxury, okay? If you can't afford it, you're not entitled to it. That's point blank simple. I was in places of my life, okay, where I really wanted a pair of Jordans. I really wanted Jordans, okay? I was a sneakerhead back in my day. Jordans are $130 retail. I didn't have that money. So I would try to scrimp and save up money so I can get it, okay? But I am not entitled to Jordans because I don't have the fucking money. I feel like a lot of poor people have that sentiment, right? Like, because I am poor and I cannot afford to pay artists fairly, I am now entitled to art that exploits other artists, like AI art that has stolen from other artists. Like, I'm entitled to it because I'm poor. I was not entitled to Jordans when I didn't have enough money. I would love a Dior bag, okay, guys? I don't got Dior bag money. I am not entitled to a Dior bag. I do not need a Dior bag to survive. I would love to have one. I don't need it to live, okay? Point blank simple. Obviously, you're entitled to food, you're entitled to shelter, all of that. I completely agree with those necessities. Not art. You're not gonna die by not having another headshot of your VTuber model. The other point I want to make is, again, there are so many free resources out there that you just have to be fucking lazy if you don't want to do any ounce of digging to access these free resources. Canva, Pick Crew, free VTuber models, free assets people have made on Twitter. I've compiled a big list on my coffee of free resources people have made. Tons of people doing giveaways all the time. Needy VT literally giving away VTuber models left, right, and center. Yeah, Vroid with free VTuber model. Live2D has a free VTuber model you can use, right? Like, there are so many free things out there. Obviously, right, it may not feel as good if it's something that's easily accessible to other people, because if it's free for everyone, chances are you're not going to be the only person using that VTuber model. But you know what? Sucks to suck. Until you can afford to get an actual VTuber model, you might have to use a model that other people are also using. It's fine. You're not going to die. You'll be fine, right? It's just the entitlement for me, personally. Sorry, I know I'm getting a little bit heated. It's just interesting. Another Twitter user writes, Molcor writes, "Hi, I'm disabled and have been poor my entire life. I found ways to make art without stealing others' work. People using AI to create art is not okay. Neither is selling it or promoting it, even if you label it. It's gross and takes away real people's jobs. That's the argument." And this person responds, "Every advancement takes away jobs. Digital art nuked jobs. CGI nuked jobs. Cameras nuked jobs. Your argument has been tried for centuries and it's never worked on anybody. Also, you're 22, your entire life is like 5 years at best. You're still a kid." Cool. So my entire life is like 9 years, 7 years at best, because I'm 24, right? If we do the math here, I'm probably going to have their name censored in this. But the person making all these posts, I was like thinking of covering the situation they were in, but they were part of a podcast and the podcast blew up and like everyone went after each other's throats and it was very interesting and very funny. So that's a whole other thing. But I just love it when people double, triple, quadruple down on a point that doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? I just think it's interesting. And then this Twitter user, nbinted, quote retweeted it, and I just think it's so funny because they wrote, "The fact that OP is getting dogpiled for being anti-AI is insane. You can find so much good shit on Booth and other platforms for dirt cheap, if not totally free. If you can afford to have a gaming PC, a mic and camera, you can afford to have non-AI assets. No excuses." And I fucking agree. And at the end of the day, you're not entitled to artwork. Point blank simple. Artwork is a luxury. You're not entitled to it if you don't have the money. And there's so much free shit. You can literally find the free stuff. Like, oh my God, there's so much free stuff. Just literally do one Google search, okay? Like, this is literally like, if your logic is, I'm going to use AI because I don't have the money, then what you're snitching to me, you are telling me that you are too lazy to do one Google search. Because I showed you how quickly I found that free VTuber model. It was one scroll on Twitter, like 30 seconds, okay? And Binted writes, quote, "Top VTubers across the board have allowed AI art in their communities," end quote, question mark. And that is in response to that tweet or the comment from the other person that I've already read to you. Bint says, "Saw quote tweets like this, quote, but what about for silly memes, end quote. Are you a toddler? What did you do before AI? You probably have MS Paint and a mouse. You can make crude dumb shit to your heart's content with far more heart." And Sylvie Spark responds, "I can maybe name 2 large VTubers who allow AI, and one of them had to remove their AI art tag because of all the pushback they got about it." And Bint adds, "If you were to add up the collective audience of openly anti-AI VTubers compared to pro-AI, and even just AI tag out of necessity VTubers, it would not be remotely close." Which, like, oh, thank God for somebody actually speaking sense. Oh my God. But again, a lot of people in the comment section were again, "What about me? I accidentally bought AI." I'm pretty sure, I'm not Lucas, right? I can't speak for them, but I'm pretty sure that's not what Lucas is talking about. I'm pretty sure Lucas is talking about the people that actively know they're getting AI art and still are going through getting AI art and using it anyways, okay? If you accidentally bought AI art and you had no freaking idea, oopsie, it happens to people, happens. Not your fault. You were the victim of a scammer who tried passing AI art off as legitimate art. You're a victim. Happens, right? Now that you know, hope you don't use it anymore, but accidents don't count. Like, everybody's like tripping about that, but I swear to, sorry, I'm like malding because like, it's like my pet peeve when people are like, when you make a comment, you know, like, "I don't like pancakes." And they're like, "What about waffles?" I said I don't like pancakes. I didn't say I didn't like waffles. I like waffles, okay? Like, it's just my pet peeve. It's just my pet peeve. But I get it, you know, because like, you might not know that that was the sentiment. Yeah, I can't believe you hate French toast. Like, I didn't say that. But anyways, as a palate cleanser, to get something cute and nice, you know, here we have this post by Lenori, who goes by the Twitter handle Lenori_2605. I don't know if that's their actual name. Like, I'm just reading it as like the Chinese name. Or is it Viet actually? But Lenori writes, "Thought of someone actually saving up money to actually sent me to tears. What? And these are some DMs between another person and Lenori. The person writes, "Hi, hello. Are you planning to do a sale on VGen anytime soon? I just checked and noticed that the price has gone up. I remember the full body art being 50 the last time I checked. Sorry if this comes off as rude. I had saved up for the previous price and it might take me some time to reach the new one, so I just wanted to ask." And Lenori says, "Hi. Yeah, I upped my price recently since I thought it would better reflect with the amount of time I spent on the art. It was indeed $50, but it was like since before December last year. But I can certainly do $50 for you. Thank you so much for being interested in my work." And Lenori responds, "Hi, couldn't reply to everybody, but just want to say I'm super grateful for the kind words." And Glimpse writes, "This was incredibly sweet and wholesome. I'm sure seeing that you were willing to do that price for them also sent them to tears. I know you've totally made their day." And Lenori says, "I sure hope so." And Rain Squeaks adds, "Oh, this is so sweet. You can tell they're a longtime follower and aren't trying to haggle you. That's very kind of you to do for 50. And Lenori says, "Yes, like I can kind of remember them because I don't have that many followers and I tend to remember anybody who interacts with my posts frequently." That is really sweet though. I absolutely love that. They are so sweet for honoring the older prices, and it's so sweet to see that somebody has saved up money to commission you, like I just think it's so sweet. It must be like a really, really heartwarming feeling, and their artwork is so good. Like most definitely $50. $50 for art like this, absolute steal. Their art is so cute. I love the way they draw eyes with the egg you saw. Like, it's just very, very pretty. Yeah, and the person was really respectful about it too. Like, "Hey, like just wanted to ask because it was this price, but I know it went up probably now. I just wanted to check in, like that was so sweet." So I just wanted a little palette cleanser at the end of the day because I know I started malding